I guess we can start by announcing the opening the Finance Committee meeting of April 6, 2021 at 5:41 p.m. Sorry for the technical difficulties. That's why we're getting a late start here. The meeting is being recorded and we're operating pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order for participating remotely in public meetings. And I'll start with a roll call attendance. I'll say your name, just say yes, that would be fine. Linda Bathel is not here. Art Pinnell, yes. Bob Horacek?
Yes.
Sheila Chamberlain?
Yes.
Terry Mish?
Yes.
Karen Doherty?
Terry Doherty, yes.
Thank you. And Karen DeMeo?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we're in. And thank you, Mr. Moglen, for helping to get us off the ground here tonight. As of our last meeting, we had a few issues that we had indicated we're going to go back to tonight. I have a partial list of that. I don't think I have the complete list. You folks may have some additional information, but let me start with what I have before we proceed to the the second half of the budget documents. We had some additional questions about the library, and that was basically looking for the numbers that they used in the Mars formula. And Linda had talked to the folks at the library, and they had provided those numbers in emails. I think you probably have all seen them. And they make sense to me. Does anybody have any questions about that particular issue at this point? It looked to me like their budget was increased enough where the Mars figure didn't even come into play. But again, that's just kind of a 30,000 foot view. Any questions? Okay, moving right along. I had listed here the master plan for the planning board. And to tell you the truth, I don't remember what our issue was. Were we going to revisit it?
I thought we were going to revisit with the select board. No. Okay. We were looking for the cost benefit analysis relative to what grants are we getting with that versus the cost of it.
Oh,
right. Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to discuss about that right now?
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have any extra information that we had last week. So
okay.
I think we need more information.
Okay, we'll move along to the next item. The next thing I had listed was computer technology budget. We're going to wait for some updates from Laura.
Yep. And I think you were waiting for the managed service provider line item, which is sorry, give me a second.
All right, I'm still checking that out. Managed service provider.
Yep. So that figure came in at
These are 14 students next to it.
$170.
We have somebody making some noise out there.
Looks like Karen's mic. Do you want to mute her? She doesn't seem to be at her screen.
That's a Sunday. Yeah, because that's the same day that we're meant to be.
I muted her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was.
So go ahead, Laura.
$76,176 for this year.
And that was a summation of all the various software programs and different.
No, that's just for the just the managed service, which would give us a higher level.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a higher level of what, Laura?
Of service for IT functions. So they would be helping us, with their firewalls.
So more security, right?
Yeah, more security,
Okay.
keeping an eye on things.
Okay.
Yep.
And that number was increasing from 25,000 the year.
Yep.
Before? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. Sorry.
All right, now I'm going to need some help recalling what was voted on and what wasn't in terms of budgets, because I frankly did not record that information. Did we vote on the computer technology budget?
So,
I don't think so.
no, I think I do not have anything recorded. Because the managed service is under the operation, so you wanted to hold until we had that figure, and then you were the laptops and PCs, the capital item.
All right, so we need to establish what exact number we're going to vote on here. Given the information that we have tonight, combined with what we looked at last week. In the computer capital, that number remains the same.
Yep.
For requested.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the operations total is.
Did you total up that number now?
Yep.
What's that number now?
It's 210,601.
210,601. All right. All right. Are there any other questions on the computer technology budget right now? If not, I'm going to ask for a vote on it. Any other questions? Everybody comfortable with that at this point? Okay, can I have a motion? Nope, sorry. Motion to approve the computer technology budget.
Operations
and computer capital.
And capital. I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Terry made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Bob seconded it. Okay, a roll call vote. All those in favor?
Art, are we going by what was requested or level funded, or what are we looking at?
Requested.
Yeah, the requested is the number that.
Is this going up?
Sorry, I just wanted to know before I vote.
Okay, so all those in favor? Art, aye. Bob?
Yes.
Sheila?
Yes.
Terry? As in
yes.
Mr. Mish?
Yes.
Karen Doherty?
Carrie, and yes.
Carrie. It's Carrie, not Karen.
I'm sorry. That's what I have written in front of me. Karen and Karen.
Yes.
Okay. I'll try not to make that mistake too many more times this evening. All right. Okay, so that is taken care of, computer technology. The next item on the list that I have in front of me was some questions about Wally Park.
Yep.
Specifically, there were questions about the traffic safety light they wanted to put at the corner of Depot and South Long Yard. And I contacted the secretary this week, and she got back to me. She had actually spoken with the safety officer from the police department, And I believe the safety officer had also spoken with Randy Brown from DPW. And to make a long story short, it seems like there's more research that needs to happen before we put any kind of a light there, because the DPW is even talking about reconfiguring that intersection at some point. Whether or not that will ever happen is, your guess is as good as mine. But that's a possibility. I mean, I think there's two ways to look at this request, whether or not we approve it or not. And one is simply go with one of those flashing yellow safety lights like they have on Congamon Road and position it however is the most appropriate, however that design was drawn up for Park and Rec. Or in light of the fact that we have really some unanswered questions about that intersection and future reconfiguration, maybe we should just hold off on it.
Motion to table to discuss with the select board.
Second that.
Okay, so that's Bob and Sheila.
Yes.
Right. So discussion, if anybody wants to discuss that motion.
Well, I think that makes sense. I think that, you don't want to do work that you're going to have to just redo because things are going to change. But at the same point, it's a really dangerous place and you don't want someone killed in the meantime. So we got to figure out what the best immediate action is and then what the long term. It's my opinion.
Okay, so all those in favor of tabling the motion to discuss it further with the Board of Selectmen, say aye. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay, so that's carried to table. Is anybody taking notes besides me? No. That's good. Okay.
Should we be afraid?
That remains to be seen. Okay, there was some other information provided to us regarding the revolving accounts at Park and Rec. Did you all see that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I just need to find it. Now, I guess the reason we were looking at that is because of the request they made for, what was it, $17,000 for fertilizing and so forth on the fields. And then they had, and then again, the, was it the light request that was in addition to that? Let me just trying to find.
Yes, $5,000.
Wait a minute.
That notice came from Laura on April 5th. If that helps anyone find it.
That was revolving account information?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so they had a $17,681 number for lawn care, and they also had $5,000 for Eversource Electric. So they've got balances in the Wally Park revolving account of $21,231.69. A regular Park and Rec revolving account has $12,600.81. The Rails to Trails, I guess that's specific for that. And they have a Park and Rec gift account, which has almost $5,000. So they do have some money floating around in their revolving accounts. And I guess one of the questions is whether we want them to address these expenses through their own revolving account or whether we want to add it to the budget. On the topic of Wally Park, I had an interesting conversation with the Park and Rec secretary today, and I'm the liaison to the Park and Rec. And I told them a long time ago, 3-4 years ago, that as Park and Rec grows, they're eventually going to need a paid person, just like every other department has. That's my opinion. I understand that there are a lot of different thoughts about Park and Rec from different individuals on our committee, but just generally speaking, as a practical matter, when you have a department that continues to grow and grow, eventually it's probably going to need a department head, just like every other department that we have. So I think I always keep that in the back of my mind when I'm looking at their budget and trying to figure out how they're supposed to pay for things and how they're supposed to actually get things done. And I think it's something that we need to consider along with the select board. Maybe take a harder look at that particular aspect at some time sooner than later. I'm not talking about a full-time position, but maybe a part-time position. I'm not sure. Needs to be looked at. So so as part of their operations budget, they basically requested level fund it. The capital with the exception of the 2 items, I should say. Their capital is there's nothing in it, so right. They have no request for this year. So the issue is the 2 items, the lawn care and the electric bill. It's $5,000 cost. Any thoughts on how we want to address that?
Well, I think we need to do the 5,000, and then they're going to need to try to pick up as much as they possibly can for the use of that. And it's just got to be a fair number that they charge people that have the lights on. And maybe some months they'll go over that $1,000 a month, you know, an income from it, and there'll be months where they won't be able to cover that amount. But I think we just got to put it in the budget, and that's going to be the most it's going to be. You know, maybe $1,000 more if we have an extended season, but you know, that's pretty much it. So I'd be in favor of going ahead and going for that 5,000.
I've got a question. What do they use the money in the revolving account for?
They pay the
as far as the sizing part of it, if I'm not mistaken, I can't.
It's pays the electricity, the fertilizing the lawn comes out of that account.
Okay, and they're trying to shift the electricity and the lawn care to their operating budget now instead of having to pay it out of their revolving?
Yes, and some of the electricity is just the
big lights.
It's for the, you know, the lights, the
big lights.
Yeah, right. I understand that. So if we pick up their lawn care and the electric, what are they going to use their revolving account to pay for?
Well, those are the 2 big items that I know that they pay out of there.
Have we gotten any analysis from Park and Rec relative to where the number $5,000 came from? And have they done any analysis relative to how other towns and communities handle this, you know, this upcharge or initial charge we get from the electric company just for, you know, per month for turning it on, how they apportion it? Do they put it into the price and increase the price for over what we would have. And then they just kind of hope that they get enough bookings to cover that initial cost. Because I remember when we put this park in, it was supposed to be self-sufficient.
Just not there yet. That's all. I mean, it's $1,000. What's that?
I said, I understand they're not there.
Yeah, well, they can be getting there. I mean, you know, it's going to take some time, and you know, to get it done. But it's $1,000 a month to turn the lights on one time. So, and they did mention that they do upcharge for the lights. Maybe it's not. Maybe they could get more for it, but there was a dollar amount, and I don't see that I wrote it down as far as that goes. But you know, they need to. Yes, they need to. You know, make sure that you know, they're competitive with other towns. But you know, as far as it goes right now, we're not going to get anybody in there with paying $11,000 if we don't have if we're not going to use the lights. We're not going to turn the lights on there. So I think it's something they need to do. They just have to study it better, and maybe, you know, if we can help them come up with a plan on that, that's great. You know, to compare the numbers, the rest of that stuff, but it's, you know, it's not fair to have one group pay $1,000 per month for the lights, and then nobody else gets charged for it. So,
because
you know, if you get an extra $100,
that's the only two things that they pay out of the revolving account.
Okay, so I'm of the opinion to let them pay the electric bill out of their revolving account, because they've got to figure out their pricing structure. And if we pick that up for them, they may not actually do the work and do the analysis. But I think the lawn care, since that is really expensive, I think we should help them out right now, because it's this pristine condition of the park that is going to get the people in there and want to use it. So I think we have to keep the park up to get it going, but I think they should be paying the electric bill.
Karen, I agree with you. My notes say that they were asked if this was going to be a one-time thing moving it to operations, or if it was ongoing. And they said lawn care, they weren't going to put into operations ongoing, but they did feel the Eversource charge they were going to move to operations totally. And I feel like if they have that money and it's a set amount, I agree with you.
I think they
take in annually
and then evaluate the lawn care even next year. Depends on what they get for bookings. You don't know how many these sports teams are going to be playing, but you know, they have over $20,000 in there now. Let them take the $5,000 hit. It goes down to 15, but then what did they get? Do they earn another $15,000 this year? You know, and if it gets back up to around $30,000 or so, then start giving them back some of their fertilizer and slowly let them get independent. But I don't want to take the electric, and I'll take the lawn care this year, but with the caveat that next year, okay, we only take 3/4 of it. Then we take half of it. Then we take 1/4 of it, and, you know, slowly give them. They have to figure out how to generate the business and what the pricing structure should be.
Over time, how did some of these other ones get into operations, like winterizing the restrooms, miscellaneous park maintenance, sprinklers, park supplies, park water? Was there an agreement at the get-go where there were some that were going to be funded from operations and then some that were going to be in this revolving fund?
At the get-go, there was a $100,000 donation by John Wally to get the park started and up and rolling. Okay, they went through that, and then they came back to the town for more money. And we said, when you exhaust your revolving fund, then come see us to, you know, let us know what you've done. And that was, I don't know, when the parks start? Does anybody have any idea?
It was over 10 years ago.
I think 10 years to analyze what you should be charging for lighted fields is probably enough time and experience to have that data for us to say, hey, this is what other people charge, this is what we charge, and you know, we need some help to be more competitive in the marketplace. It's pretty simple, I think.
I can tell you they weren't aware previously that they were going to get whacked the Eversource charge. They weren't aware.
Yeah, because the lights have not been 10 years. The lights have been maybe 3.
Yeah, that's true.
And they did contact other towns on how to address that lighting charge, and other towns spread it out over various events throughout the season. But we don't have the large enough number to spread it out, or especially since last year there was nothing going on almost. They couldn't spread anything out last year. So they're in a kind of a tight spot. Again, management is part of what they need to be addressing all these issues.
Am I the only one that's getting you guys that you're fading out?
You might be, because you actually faded out on us sometimes when you're talking, Terry.
Yeah, Terry, every once in a while you're kind of going to Mars there. Okay. Maybe you better crank up your phone.
Am I the only one left here?
Maybe you should crank up your phone as
Help.
well. All right, so I kind of agree with what Karen said about the $5,000 fee. I have a feeling they're going to develop the ability to pay that and incorporate it in their charges over time. I'm not sure that they have the ability to do that right now. So we could help them with that number. The number for the fertilizer, the lawn care, that's an annual event, pretty much, give or take a little bit of money. Is that correct, Terry? I mean, whether or not the park was even open last year, you still got to fertilize the lawn. You probably have to overseed it. You got to water it. You still have to do all that stuff, just like a golf course. Even if you can't play golf, you still got to maintain it. So I think they could use a little help on the $5,000 to 17. You know, they could take that out of the revolving account. And if they get themselves in more of a bind down the road, we'll have to look at it. But part of what I'm trying to say here is they have a secretary, and they have the committee, the Park and Rec Commission, volunteers. We've heard this before, and they get a lot on their plate trying to get this park developed. And you know, I can see they've got problems, they got issues. So, I mean, I think we need to take that into account. I understand there's a lot of different feelings on this committee about Wally Park. But that being said, we need to get to the finish line somehow.
Yeah, the park is an asset to the community. We should be helping them out, whether we help them out with $5,000 or we help them out with $17,000. But I think one of those should be picked up by the revolving account. And we're of opposite feelings. I think they should be dealing with the electric and figure out how to get that into their pricing structure. And then we can start handing over the fertilizing, because we've got to make sure that that park is in good condition so that people want to use it and want to rent it.
Correct. I was talking to the secretary today. She indicated that the soccer field, which they rent for substantial money, is already borderline in terms of complying with the group that's renting it. They're already complaining about the condition. So this is how critical it is for, you know, the regular maintenance anyway.
Yeah, and I drove up there. I'm not a professional, but it didn't look good. I agree with Karen. I think that, you know, we need to be providing a certain amount of support, whatever that money decides to be for keeping the fields up. But I think they have more than enough money in their revolving account to cover the lights. And I don't think that needs to move to capital. or to operations.
Can I ask if the current field conditions, isn't that current year money? Are they doing it now?
Yeah, they should be doing, yeah.
How come the field conditions deteriorated? Was that because of the lack of water last year? I thought they were watering.
I think it's a management issue. I mean, I know for a fact at the beginning of last year, the park was not watered correctly or adequately, and a lot of areas suffered. It largely came back throughout the course of the year, but I mean, again, this kind of goes back to management and people having the time and the knowledge to do what needs to be done.
So are you proposing we should be looking at that for this coming year's, the coming budget?
I think we should be having a discussion with the select board about putting some kind of a, call them a department head for Park and Rec. I think it's eventually, I think you've got to have it. It's a matter of when and what effect it has, whether you do or you don't. I think, we're seeing people that aren't trained in turf management trying to manage 60 acres of turf. And not only is knowledge an issue, but money is an issue. So,
and volunteer time.
The
time they have to give to it.
Yeah. So
it's a job for Terry.
A part-time job for Terry. All right, so I think we should look for a motion to fund one of these items out of their revolving accounts. How's that sound? Anybody interested in making a motion like that?
I'll make a motion that they should fund the $5,000 out of their revolving and move the $17,000 to the operating budget for this year, and we'll revisit it next year.
Second.
So Karen made the motion, Bob seconded it. Any further discussion? Those in favor, Art, aye. Let's see. Sorry, Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish is temporarily vacated the building. Okay. Carrie?
Yes.
And Karen?
Yes.
All right. So Laura, can you come up with a total figure for the operations portion of their budget with the addition of the $17,681?
Sorry. Having the Zoom meeting up on the screen. I don't have my two screens, so I'm flipping.
Yeah, I think we're all flipping.
Can people hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Can you hear us, Terry?
All right. So I left in the lawn care, and that comes, so their operations comes to a total of $60,473.
$60,473.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to have a motion to approve Park and Rec operations budget, and let's see. Oh, before we finalize the capital issue, we're not going to move forward with that safety light. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
All right. So we'll keep their capital budget at 0 for this year, correct?
There was two things added into their budget from, I believe, the maintenance department. They wanted the town beach tree removal and trimming for $4,500, and the town beach roof power washing for $750.
And these are coming in which part of their budget? How much was that? What was the power washing?
$750.
Okay, where's that being contemplated? Which budget?
It's under Park and Rec in their capital, but it came from the maintenance. You should have gotten a second, a separate Park and Rec maintenance.
Power washing can't be capital. That's a maintenance item.
Correct.
No, I think it's power. She said power washing, right?
Yeah, but she said something about moving it to capital, and it can't be capital. That's a maintenance.
Those are operation. Yeah. Tree removal and power washing are operational line items.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we need to contemplate these numbers as well, because these are additional above and beyond the numbers that we had previously. So
now, was the issues with the trees, does that have anything to do with all the storms?
My sense is that the trees are a maintenance issue. They're a nuisance. They drop stuff. They're not in great shape. Things would be safer and cleaner if the trees were taken down.
I kayaked there about a week ago, and there was a lot of trees that came down with storms. So if there's anything we can do to take trees down without having them fall on us, that's probably one of the better things to do for safety.
Clear cut and burn, I think, is the expression for the foresters in the crowd. Yeah, I think that's exactly the idea.
Yeah, I think that's a wise move.
Okay, so the request has value. Can we agree on that? How about paying for it? Do we want to do that? This is going to be, again, in addition to their operating section of their budget.
So we take the 60,413 and bring it up to 65,663 for operations.
Run that by me again.
It would take the $60,473 that we just said if we take over the lawn care, and you add in the two beach things, it brings it up to $65,663 for operations, which is a whole lot more than it was last year.
Well, do we need to do the power washing?
Only after the trees are down.
I think if I remember that correctly, they were trying to save the roof, and they thought they could save the roof if they power washed it. Okay. That's what I remember from that conversation.
I mean, the biggest part of the difference is adding on the lawn care. Truly, that's a big chunk.
Can I add something now? I'm back, I think.
You're back.
You're back.
Hey.
Sound better than ever.
Thanks. I don't have it in front of me, but from what I remember, that 17,000 was broken down into 5 lawn applications. I know I've asked for somebody to come up with actually what they're using, which is real important. I've thought previously that they could get rid of at least one of those applications, bringing it down to 4. And my own thought, again, without hearing what you guys had been discussing, was to bring that down to like 14. Where am I at? 10,000, about like $11,000, which would be actually taking 3 applications out. So anyway, that was my thought. But again, I don't even know what they're using. So they, like most homeowners or whatever, you know, you don't need that many applications on your lawn.
So do we leave them with the $17,000 and let them split it between the fertilizer, the trees, and the power washing?
Now, I don't know about those other things because I was missing that. I'm just saying, as far as the fertilizer go, if you're gonna cut something back, I'd cut it down to like 11,000, and you know, because that's what we need to know is what the heck they're actually putting down on the ground, whether they can save money with that or, and they never show what they're actually the physical products that they're using. So.
Well, that confuses the issue.
So if we just
cut.
Well, Terry, we just voted on the lawn care and the no, what is it? The
electricity. Well, I mean, do whatever you're going to do then. That's fine. Whatever.
But to your point,
I'm not losing sleep over this.
Putting down.
I'm just not going to lose sleep over this anymore. You know, that this is something that they've needed to look at right along. And again, it just irks me that I can't get that information, you know. And
that goes back to Art, what Art's been saying. We need someone in there who can do that.
Well, just the professional that can look at what they're doing for like lawn care or whatever. Because I don't know that anybody there, I'm not saying they don't have a clue, but in my professional life, I mean, I've sold, you know, thousands of tons of lawn fertilizers and soil amendments and all of that other stuff that you do, you know, that you need to run a park. I've dealt with, you know, professionals, you know, top to bottom. And you know, I just don't know what they're using. They can't tell me what they're using. So I'm really should just wash my hand of it and not be as frustrated as I am at this. So if you voted for it, fine, go, whatever.
Well,
and you know, we'll go on to the next.
In my opinion, I think, Terry, your input's important. And at this point, we're just voting what to propose when we talk to the select board. We're not like approving it for the town budget. Can we go back and take Terry's consideration in and come up with a different number?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. I think I'd be tempted to put the 11,000 in instead of the 17, but cover the tree removal and the beach power washing,
right?
And come up with a number for operations with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still have plenty of money in their revolving accounts. They still have enough money to cover the difference if they want to do 5 applications instead of 4.
I think that's a good suggestion. And Terry, if you're going to wash your hands, remember Dr. Fauci says 20 seconds.
Okay.
At least.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
There you go. All right.
All right. Sorry to Ben.
So we want to leave this unresolved until we have our joint meeting with the select board, correct? Is that what we're saying?
Or do we want to come up with a different number?
I think no,
you know, we're just this is all opinion. We're shooting in the dark.
All right.
I think we just leave it the way it is. We'll resolve it. We have to resolve it after our meeting with the select board, and we will. Is that all right? Is that acceptable?
Yes.
So is that a motion to table? Mr.
So moved.
No, the one that's on the table that has it. Wasn't this the discussion about that motion to table?
Table park and rec operations. I move till we meet with the select board.
All right. Sheila makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second. Go ahead. Okay.
Second.
Karen.
Karen seconds. Okay. All those in favor of tabling, Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Okay. So it shall be. That's Terry's line. So it is done.
So it is written, so it shall be done.
Written, so it is done.
All right. So I think we're over last week's stuff.
Tired.
Does anybody have anything else from last week that they want to run by us, the committee? Hearing none. How's that? We can move on to the second phase of the budget, which starts off with assessors, Board of Assessors. This has to be an easy one.
Yeah, let's move through it quickly.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept their operations budget
As requested.
as requested.
Throw capital in there too, since it's 0.
In capital. Yep. And they're not requesting anything. Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Sheila, second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor are aye of accepting the capital and the operations and capital for assessor. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Done. SEMA, emergency management. Is that what we have next?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, they're actually looking for a reduction in their operations. Is that correct? 11.9 and change down to 9.7 and change, approximately.
Yes.
Is that what we're looking at?
Yes.
And their capital budget is 0. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So this seems fairly straightforward. I'm trying to identify what it is that lowered their budget here. What was it?
They're not providing uniforms for the emergency police.
And the education line significantly decreased.
Arthur, the auxiliary
the
police moved under the police department.
Yeah.
All right. Can I have a motion to accept emergency management operations and capital budget?
As requested. I move that.
Yes. Second?
Second.
Bob second. All those in favor? Art? Yes. Bob?
Yes.
Sheila?
Yes.
Terry Mish? Mr.
Yes.
Mish? Carrie?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay. Moving right along. Well, before we move right along, I guess we should mention there was some literature provided to us about the essential duties and responsibilities of a part-time emergency management director, which was for our purview, which I suspect means that this position will be, somebody will be looking to formalize it in the near future, perhaps in a different light than we've dealt with it for the last 10 or 15 years. So that looks like it's something that's in front of us, something to think about. Next time you go to a picnic, you can converse with your friends and neighbors about it and decide what you think going forward. All right, I don't think any other conversation about that position, future development of it.
Talking about the assistant director, right?
That's what they're titling it, yes. That's something the personnel board will have a lot of fun with, I'm sure. One of them smiling. Okay. All right, moving on. Conservation Commission, is that what we have in front of us, everybody?
Community preservation, do we have to do anything about that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, that was a, yeah, I have no paperwork on that in front of me. What,
they're not requesting money, so I'm not sure we need to do anything about it.
All right, well then we won't do anything about it. If we need to, we will when we reconvene at a later date. How's that?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so now the Conservation Commission.
I guess the one thing that's my group, and I did meet with them before doing this, and they made a really strong push for trying to increase Dennis's hours a little bit. They've been asking for years to do that, and they certainly, he fell short of saying, well, if you don't pay me, I'm going to stop doing it, and this is how it'll hurt the town. I think he's too dedicated to the town for that, but I think he's made a reasonable request, and he's doing a whole lot of extra money that gives us, we get a benefit from the grants and whatnot. So I think it's something that should be considered.
I would agree with you, Sheila.
I agree also, but I think it's, I think the personnel board needs to look at that multifaceted position and just make sure that whatever the person in that position is doing, it's adequately described. I mean, I understand he does all kinds of things, and that's great. We're fortunate that he does. But in terms of just, we're basically informally approving a conservation position, but it also incorporates all these other things, community preservation and open space plans and master plans and this, that, and the other thing. And I think the personnel board really should take a little bit of a look at that and kind of formalize it a little bit more. I'm not saying I don't think he should get paid more money, but I think I would think it needs to be a little more organized.
And we don't really do a whole lot of, I don't think we as a board do much on salary. I think that's more the selectmen, but I do think I hope everyone got a copy of the notes that I took from that meeting and see why he's asking for it. He's not asking for a higher rate. He's asking for more hours. And I think it should be considered. And I don't disagree that things may need to be, like, he's kind of deciding what he needs to do based on what he sees needing to be done and just does it. I don't know that there's a list of his responsibilities and what we could or should expect. That's a valid point.
All right, so we'll hand that off gratefully to the personnel board.
If anyone else needs a copy of that, I can share it again. I have a copy of the notes from all the things that he's currently doing.
Okay, so that was, again, yeah, and you're right. That's the personnel board. That's not really us.
Right.
So according
I did tell him I would speak up for him.
Okay. So according to my paperwork, they're requesting a little bit less in their operations. 7901 is what they're requesting.
I think they said, they really were focusing on the salary and that they could do with a little less. So it's a small budget.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the operations budget for conservation.
There's no capital, so it's just
Well, they're looking for a drone as well, correct?
Yeah, that's what I thought they were looking.
It's just not in this sheet.
It's
not in the revised one. It's not in this one or in the revised one.
No.
So I'll make a motion. Well, I've made the motion for the operations to approve that. If we want to do the drone separately, that's good.
I'll second that.
Drone separately, Mr. Mitchell. It's in the capital item. All right, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Sheila, second. Any other discussion about the operations?
Just the motion again was?
The motion is to approve their requested operations amount, 7901.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay, so the operation portion is approved as requested. Now the capital item, the drone.
Well, I'll make a motion to, how do we do it? Deny the request for a drone.
Second.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of denying the $5,500 for a drone? Art, aye.
For the conservation.
Pardon me?
For conservation.
For conservation.
Commission, yeah.
Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on, we have Ag Commission. Is that what's showing up in everybody's packet?
Yes.
So they're requesting to increase their operations by what, $250 from $500 to $750 for operations.
So they're adding $4,000, right? Or more?
Well, $250 for printing a farm brochure. And then additionally, they want $2,000 in capital for the well, to enhance the well. And then there's $1,000 for travel and conference for Ag Committee members. And as I said, $250 for the farm brochure. Travel conference.
And $1,000 for supplies, right?
Well, they put the brochures and supplies in capital items, which it doesn't belong there.
No, I had moved the supplies and the conference and travel up to operations.
Oh, okay.
The only thing that's in capital is the well for and the fencing.
It says consultant here.
Consultant?
Ag committee. I mean, on the original budget, it says consultant. But in their capital, they're talking that it's travel and conference.
So does this?
Yeah, and I asked them, I did send an email to them, and the consultant is referring to the conference and travel. Because that's really what the line is.
4,500, or is the total 4,500 plus 750 that they're asking for?
It's like they have two operations sections there.
Yeah.
Supplies double counted too?
All right, so let's just pull these numbers apart, put them in the right column. So for operations, we're looking at, they're requesting $750 in one line, one portion, and then that's undefined, right? Or no,
well,
then they were, yeah. So when I asked them about the supplies, they wanted the 750 plus the 250 for 1,000 for the supplies.
So supplies should be out of well, they've got operations in two places.
Yeah.
So
we disregard the 750 and go with the 1,000 for supplies?
Did they ask for a $500 increase in their supplies?
That's what it's coming up to.
It's coming up to
Or did they mean to ask for 750 and we just put it in, we added the 750 plus the 250?
Sounds like, yeah, it sounds like we added the 250 to the 750.
Can I ask you this? How many people does this benefit? I'm just thinking about the well. It just seems like budget creep to me. I mean,
I was thinking the same thing.
It's
something that didn't exist 2 years ago.
And fees seem really low for the few people who try to use this space, isn't it? This is for the community garden, is that right?
Right.
I have a question. Would the installation of a well be operations or a capital item? It's an installation of a well. Is that a capital?
The well would be capital.
That's capital.
Yep.
All right. So what they're doing is they had a well put in. It's not adequate. It dried up last year. So they're basically asking to do some more drilling, which is, again, you can call it installation of a well or enhancement of the well. That's a capital investment, I believe. So that, I don't necessarily agree with the budget creep scenario there on that item, because obviously they need to spend more money to make the well work, but it's theoretically, it's kind of a one-time expense for the drilling of a well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to have to do it twice here or do something. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know that that's budget creep.
I agree with that, but I think she was talking more about the supplies going from 500 to 1,000.
Let's talk about the whole thing.
It's really unclear what they're asking for, because if you look at the next page, it says they're looking for 2,000 for the well, they're looking for 1,000 for travel, and they're looking for 250 for the printing of the farm brochure. So that comes to 3,250, and yet they're asking for 4,500. So it's really not clear what they're asking for. At the same point, it's a pretty small budget.
It is, but it's probably the most confusing it could be with the amount of line items.
Well, what do you want to do? You want to ask for clarification?
You know what, Arthur, personally, I'm good with this. I think I would approve 750 for supplies, and that 250 is in there for the brochure. The travel and conference, we go from $0 to $1,000, without documentation. I'd approve 500, and I'd approve the 2,000 for the well. Is that 2,000 or 2,500? 2,500 for the well. So what's that put me at? 3,750.
Well, is it 2,000 or is it 2,500? They got it.
Well, I'm sorry. It looks like land maintenance. So
is that land maintenance on top of the $2,000 well?
I just noticed that. I looked at that and I thought that was the well, but maybe you're right, Arthur. Maybe we should just,
because the land maintenance, the consultant, and the supplies, that $4,500 down below, it's like all new compared when it was $500.
I'm getting a sense that Laura wants to contact them and really get everything in the right category with the right amounts, and we can take another look at it. Is that sense correct, Laura?
That is. I tried my best.
No, I know. I understand. I mean, we need to do that. This is too confusing. It's a small budget. It's all over the place, unfortunately. All right. So can I entertain a motion to table this budget? Ag Commission.
I'll motion to table.
Is there a second?
Second, and I was just looking at the liaison list to see if someone could help out, and I don't think they're on our liaison list, just as a heads up.
You win. You get them.
Was that a second? Sheila, was that?
Yes, that was a second.
All right, is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of tabling, Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Okay. Onward and upward. So for operations, they're requesting a level funded budget. They did have the issue of whether or not they were going to get adequate state funding, but that's unresolved. And my thought on that is that we'll assume they're going to get what they need. And if they don't, we address it later. Otherwise, we can just sit here and wonder for half an hour about whether they're going to get it or not.
Agreed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I would entertain a motion to approve their Council on Aging operations budget as requested in the amount of 9,855.
I'll move that, and I'll include the capital, which is 0.
Thank you. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the Council on Aging operations and capital? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Moving right along. Cultural Council, is that what we have?
Yep.
On deck. Okay, they're asking for a little bit of an increase from 2,520 to 2,700.
I'll make a motion to approve operations.
The requested amount?
Figure.
The requested amount?
That's correct. Yes, correct.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? They do a lot with the money they get. All those in favor of approving Cultural Council requested operations budget of 2,700. Art, aye. Sorry, Bob.
Aye.
Sheila.
Aye.
Mr. Mish.
Aye.
Carrie.
Aye.
And Karen.
Aye.
Okay. Moving right along. Cemetery Commission. Is that what we have?
Yes.
Okay, for their operations, they've gone from last year of $52,000 to a requested amount of $34,075 this year.
There's a new, there's an updated thing that you should have gotten today.
I emailed late in the afternoon.
For cemetery?
Yep, for cemetery.
The cemetery. Carl dropped it off for me. It's now up to, it goes from
50,175.
52,000. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everything's frozen on my computer here, so you can still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're still moving.
I am. I can't see myself moving.
Terry, you might have, it might work better if you actually stop your video and just do audio. It'll use less bandwidth. Not that I don't want to see your face, but.
Yeah, I just clicked something and now everybody's back. Yay.
Okay.
All right, so what numbers are we working with here? What's the additional request? I'm still looking for that paperwork.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Sorry. Terry, do you want to go? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they corrected. They didn't have any improvements in their budget that we got in our booklet. The new one has $16,100 in there, which was the same as previously. So the final 21 budget was $52,000, and the requested by the department is $50,175. So it's down $125.
Oh, that'd be 825. No, 1825.
I'm sorry. Yes, you were absolutely right. I'll just leave.
What's the final number for operations? Requested?
$50,175.
Requested.
That is correcto mundo, as they say.
Motion to approve the budget as requested.
Operational budget, sir?
Yes, operational budget.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
I'm sorry if I sound like I'm yelling at everybody. I apologize for that. I'm just trying to keep things straight in my own mind.
You're doing a great job, Art.
Oh, thanks, Terry. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Cemetery capital. So they went from 0 last year to now they want, they're looking for 10,000 to finish some surveying so that they actually know where the residents are. And 19,750 for, or is that, let's see. That second number is to put roads in. But I thought that was a long-term.
It's a multi-phase. I have it as this is phase 1 of a multi-phase project.
All right, so it looks like what they're looking for in terms of the road is phase 1, which includes stripping the topsoil and stockpiling it on site, subgrading the road, putting hard pack on the road, and then kind of re-landscaping around the edges. And that's phase 1. Somewhere down the road, no pun intended, will be phase 2, will be asphalt on top of that hard pack. But what they're looking for now is phase 1 for $19,750.
Is there any way that that could qualify for a CPC grant under historical regarding the cemetery?
Well, it says this is surveying the old part of the new cemetery. What does that mean? Does that mean the old cemetery or just the old part of the new cemetery? I'm not sure. In other words, if it was historical, perhaps there is an opportunity there.
Okay, I'd like to maybe discuss that with the select board and possibly the cemetery commission.
Relative. A motion to table the capital portion of the cemetery budget.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion on the capital portion of the cemetery commission budget? Hearing none, all those in favor of tabling the capital portion? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish? Mr. Mish?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes, aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else we need to look at on their budget? Yes, there is. Did we talk about this, the additional software?
That when they revise their budget, they are part of that $16,000 is they're going to use that money for the tree removal and then the Pontum, the software.
Now, is this the software to lay out the cemetery plots and the existing graves? Laura?
I'm not 100%. I know it's a lot of data entry and logging in the cards, but what exactly the information is, I'm not 100%.
Okay, because they have software already to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that they've ever utilized it.
They are utilizing this Pontum. They've been using it for the past year, King, and the information. And I'm thinking it's who's where, you know, the plot, the families, exactly what the information is. I'm not, 100% sure, but they are using this software. I think it's a one user software,
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is that description on their form number 2.
Yeah.
Purchase additional Totem modules to increase user license from single user, migrate from workstation to client server module for standard mapping and online search capability via the town website and annual maintenance fees. So it looks like you're trying to make it more user friendly for the townspeople, for one thing. So you've got an annual maintenance fee and as well as the software and the license and setup. And that comes to $72.80.
Isn't that part of what we voted on already? Are you talking about the new to FY 2022 part?
The new operate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but isn't that part of that 16,100 that's on that new the new sheet that we already voted on?
Yeah, it's part of that 16,000. So instead of having, they added the 16,000 under improvements that would also that encompasses these two items rather than
right, the trees and the moat thing there. So you can scratch those off because we've actually already voted on those. We already voted. That was the 50,175. And looking at it, it's a new sheet, Art, that included that.
Oh, okay.
16,000
today. That sheet came out today. Is that the one
that is correct?
That I didn't download 5 minutes before the meeting.
Yes, it came very late. Sorry.
All right.
Shouldn't that be
unfortunate? Unfortunate. Oh. Art, it's unfortunate that you're not on the way home for Carl, because he continually drops off stuff for me on his way home.
Oh.
So I got this fresh.
Okay.
Shouldn't those modules be in capital though? That's where, I mean, that's not an operational line item.
So we already voted on both of those too, so.
All right, so operations are all set.
Correct.
We didn't know how set we were, but we're very set. And capital we've tabled, correct? So yep. I guess we're ready to move along. All right. To building inspector, is that what everybody has?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, for operations, he's looking for a reduction from 72.65 to 65.65. Capital, you got what? Nothing. So
I'll make a motion to approve the operations part, and I guess the capital then too of the building department.
Those would
requested.
Be the requested amounts. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Sheila seconds. All those in favor? Art, yes. Bob?
Yes.
Sheila?
Yes.
Mr. Mish?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay. Board of Health. Their operational request is the same as last year, 6633. Unless there's something hiding in the back here. The other
just the nurse.
The other issue is the nurse.
We don't really do salary, so
no. So we could have a motion on to approve the operational requested budget.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the requested operational budget for the Board of Health. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay. Moving right along. Building and grounds. How do you spell nightmare?
With $2 signs.
Just two. Let's see. Now, some of you have in front of you a brand new budget that was sent out today, right? Laura, do we know if that version is different than what we've been looking at for the last couple of weeks in terms of, you know, the regular pages with the operational salary and capital portions of the budget?
There, so on the, are we looking at the town hall? Town
complex, yeah. Town hall operations.
Okay, so the only, sorry. What has changed is the telephone is $47,000 instead of 44.
Okay, so that's the change that showed up today.
That's a change that showed up today, yes.
Okay, and the only other change in the operations from the previous version is it minor equipment? Which has gone from 1575 to 2850 requested.
Yeah, but that's in both, yeah, that's an increase, but it's in both versions.
All right, so the final number, according to your newest version for the operations, is what's that number?
$370,461.
Please run that by again.
370,461.
370461.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else? Is there anything else hiding in here that has to do with operations? Any other pages? Capital.
Not that I'm.
It's all capital. The rest of the
items are capital.
I was going to say the rest of the confusion, but items is okay. That's good. All right. So we can have entertain a motion to accept the town hall operations budget as requested in the amount of $370,461.
Sorry, can I ask one question before we go to that?
Yeah.
It looks like over time, and I'm not sure what happened or why I didn't ask this during our other meetings, but their actuals every year are well below what we budget. Am I looking at this correctly? Is it going elsewhere? So we budgeted in the 360s and they've spent well below 300,000 every year.
I think sometimes, honestly, Carrie, is, you know, we'll budget something, and if they don't perform it, if they don't get the bids in or whatever, we used to see that with the new DPW garage. We budget $250,000 for land, and then we wouldn't buy anything. Mm-hmm. So that would just go back into the general fund, but we had a budget for it.
Okay.
I think we specifically addressed Carrie's issue with this portion of the town hall budget previously. So what I would suggest to you is what you're looking at now is tighter than it used to be in terms of appropriated versus expended. And I would say further that town hall operations juggles a lot of activity, and there's a certain amount of uncertainty all the time in their budget. So you're right to point out the difference between appropriated and expended, but I think it's like normal, for lack of a better word.
They're asking for an increase, and if they're not spending what they're already getting, I don't know.
Yeah, the telephone one, that's sort of what jumped out at me. If they're increasing it to 47, but they've only spent, unless something changed with the phone systems or whatever.
That's based on, I did the calculation, and that's based on all of our usage of our current phones.
So do you think, I mean, will that 47 be spent, or will it be more like 29, 31, 33 that's been happening over the last?
No, it will be spent.
Well, does anybody want to change the number, or you want to just vote on the number we have in front of us, or what are your thoughts? You got to keep those guys in line, you know. You can't just give them the money and let them run. You got to keep after them, make sure they're spending carefully.
It just seems like we should be looking at level funded, or even the 5% decrease if they're not spending it. And if they need more money, they can come back to us. But it seems like it does seem like a consistent issue.
And also in that phone line is the budget for the Office 365 for, you know, for some of our townspeople.
In the phone one?
Yeah, it's where we have it in there.
And are you switching to Office 365 this year?
Yeah, we're in the, you know, trying to get switched over.
Well, I don't have a problem with going level funded.
That's what I'm leaning towards.
We could always hash it out some more at the joint meeting.
I'll propose to suggest the level funded budget for operations.
Okay, for town complex. Is there a second?
Yep.
Who's that? Who seconded that?
I don't think anybody seconded it. I'll second it, Art.
Okay, Bob second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of level funding the town complex operations budget. Art, aye. Bob.
Aye.
Sheila.
Aye.
Mr. Mish.
Aye.
Carrie.
Aye.
Karen.
Aye.
Okay. We're such an agreeable bunch so far. That's good. Makes it easy on the paperwork. All right.
The capital is the 5,000 to, that's for the tile for the senior center. Is that what that's for?
Yeah, how come now does the latest version have this capital section filled out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, in the latest version, everything's in its place. So.
All right, the version I have has almost nothing. So.
Yeah. So you on the bottom of the do you see in small underneath the capital or some of the other line items?
Right, 3,000, 21,000.
Yep.
2850 and 660.
Yep.
8,100.
Yeah, and then there was also added by Carl was 85,000 for town hall roof design. That's the only thing that's probably not on your pages.
Okay, so town hall roof design. I'm not sure if that was something that went before CPC this past week and got turned down.
Oh.
They did turn down something with regards to the roof. So maybe that's why this $85,000 is showing up here, because we're not going to get any relief from CPC on that.
Okay.
I thought didn't they go back after that? They had a massage the request. I thought I read something up to that point, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, they were going to break it down into the ages of the roof, like the oldest part of the building, X number of dollars for that, and then the other two parts they got added on in like the 50s or whatever. And they were going to break it down into I believe it was 3 separate estimates, and then go from there. But I don't know if it's been voted on, but that's how they were going to proceed with it.
Okay.
That's age discrimination, by the way, Terry.
I just informing that it's not.
All right. It's okay.
I hope I don't lose my job over that.
All right. Well, that would be an important thing to clarify. Does anybody at the table that's listening know any details on that, Mr. Moglen?
As best I know, up to the minute, is they did meet with CPC last week, and CPC was of the CPC chair was of the opinion that this was maintenance and not restoration work or to protect the historical building. We've since gone back to the attorney and other parties to get a ruling on that. And as of this afternoon, the Board of Selectmen asked the CPC to call another meeting to reconsider that proposal based on the legal opinion we have in hand that it is an allowable project under CPC.
Well, thank you for that. That's
you're welcome.
So I suggest that we might want to table this until we get a clear picture of what's going on there.
I would concur.
I agree.
All right, so that would be a motion to table the capital portion of the town complex budget.
On the
Who made the motion?
Oh,
I said, go ahead, whoever.
All right, Sheila made the motion. Who's seconding?
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of tabling the capital portion of town complex budget until further clarification, say aye. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay. What else we got here?
Police budget.
The what?
No, I think there's more about, if you keep going, there's highway maintenance, building and
Highway.
grounds.
Oops, sorry. I thought that was all. I mean,
This is a pretty thick section. I think we're,
oh yeah, that's for sure.
and then there's.
It's making me thick.
Breaks it down by building or something.
Where's that?
It's a few pages behind what we just did. You have the 3 pages that support town complex maintenance, and then the next one is highway maintenance, building and grounds. At least in mine, that's where it is. It has pretty colors in the columns.
I'm searching.
Are a lot of
Easter
blank?
colors.
I might have pulled mine forward because I got frustrated trying to find it. So yours might be in a different place.
Yeah, because I think when we assembled the books,
There's maybe a dozen pages, then you get to highway.
yeah.
Public safety buildings? No.
So we have
There's the-
public safety.
Public safety is, so it's right before that. Before that. Public safety is the next one.
Okay, here we are. Thank you.
And did we get updated ones? I have a lot of blanks on mine.
Yeah, mine's all blank too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the old version. So we need to be filled in on the numbers for highway maintenance, building and grounds. I mean, you need the highlights from somebody who's got that in front of them. Maybe Laura.
All right. What department are you looking at? Sorry.
Highway maintenance, building and grounds.
What's the question on that? Is that the one you got, like a purple and a blue and a pinkish one?
There's just a lot of blank rows.
Kind of looking like the color on your shirt there, Terry. That plaid. So this is.
Just because a lot of this isn't the maintenance parts, not the highway DPW director's salary. Are you talking about those blanks?
All right.
Well,
under operations, there's only 4 lines that have numbers.
Those are the.
Wow.
I mean, it goes from 304,000 down to 22,000. So it seems like something's wrong.
Those are some of the lines that the maintenance added numbers to, but I believe they're included in the highway operations line. You can see the 20,000. The 16,100, the 50,000 for utilities.
So these are activities at the DPW that are administered by Building and Grounds. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's a little confusing, but that's what it is.
I'm just trying to understand, Laura, why it goes from FY 21 $304,550, and then this year they're only asking for 22,000.
Because those are only 4 lines that buildings and grounds use that are part of the highway department's budget. So all the other lines are highway.
So those all moved to the highway department?
Well, they didn't move. They're all incorporated into one. They're one budget. But,
let me try this one more time.
Yeah, try it. Sorry, I'm gonna.
They're expenses that are incurred by DPW that are administered through town hall. Does that sound right? I see somebody shaking their head. Yes.
Yeah, I just still don't understand why where that other $375,000 or $275,000 is. Are we just not spending that, or is it being spent elsewhere?
No. Those other numbers that come up to that total are DPW numbers. Okay. Do you understand the difference between DPW expenses that are administered through town hall, directly through town hall, as opposed to the DPW operating budget?
So if we go to the DPW operating budget, will we see all the lines that are blank in this budget? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. That was what I was trying to ask is where'd that go?
You'll see the numbers, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're looking at are how many line items?
They're in both places.
It's level funding, right? It's
funded, yeah.
As requested.
Sure.
For those 4 line items.
Well, the 5,000 is, yeah.
It's all level funded.
It's all level funded.
All right. So
hang on a minute, Garbage.
It's actually
this is, we already voted on this.
Yeah.
If you go back to the highway budget, you'll see garage repairs and maintenance for $20,000 already on that page. Okay. And then you'll see the next line item for contracts and agreements at $16,100 already budgeted in the same spot.
All right, so we voted last week on that.
Yeah.
On this.
Okay, that's good. Good catch, good point. That's why you're there, Mr. Mish. Keep us on track.
The only thing I don't see is that the crack seal coat and line stripe of the parking lot. Unless.
That's on the 5-year projection though, right? Or no?
No, that's FY22. Potholes and cracks in the parking lot need to be sealed to prevent further damage, relining after sealing. I think we need to talk to the select board about that particular issue. That would be my desire. I have a couple of questions. So maybe we should table the.
I don't know.
Or is that something? No, we didn't already look at that in part of the DPW, did we? No.
No, not. I don't think so.
I'd like to table it.
We'll move.
There's a second.
I'll second it.
Any other conversation about capital items? All those in favor of tabling? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Yeah, sure. Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
All right. What else?
Now we have public safety buildings. We'd almost be good to have dividers for each of these sections next year because it's really hard to find it all. Just saying.
Yeah, we could tell Robin, we could ask Robin to do that.
Either that or just take the sections with the documentation and staple that together so you can flip through.
Yep, something.
Something to differentiate, you're right.
All right, public safety building operations, it's, the request is the same, right? As last year?
It's level funded, yeah.
The only difference is, again, the telephone line, after looking at all their expenses and what they're doing, is instead of the 43.5, it should be 52.5. And again, that's with the initiating the Office 365. And then there is also with that is an increase. We had originally thought we were going to go with the business, but we have to go, my understanding is we're going to go with the government, which is a little bit more. So it's adding some cost to that line.
So what's the total? What's your total for capital?
I can't hear anybody.
Operation.
For operations?
For requested, yes.
Okay, sorry. 288,184.
280, 184?
288,184.
I'm sorry, you can't quite hear that, but I got it. 288. So we're up a little bit.
I'm gonna ask the same question that I asked before. It looks like the actual spending doesn't align too with the budgets over the years.
In there has been, you know, budgeting for the conversion over to Office 365. You know, in this year, which we haven't quite implemented, so there's been a little bit of savings, but we are going forward with implementing the Office 365, which will increase our need.
Was that in telephone?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear?
Laura, was that in telephone in
yes.
past years? Okay.
I'm going to move that we approve the requested amount for public safety building under operations and capital. Unless the capital has something else. No, never mind capital, because that looks like that's got something added on the bottom. But operations.
Operations.
Requesting amount for operations.
All right, is there a second? Second for
second.
Bob seconded it. Any other discussion about operations for public safety buildings? Terry can't hear anybody. Huh. Does anybody know sign language?
He's not.
Right. Terry, you can't hear us. All right, so we had a motion and a second to approve the operation public safety buildings. All those in favor, Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish can't hear us. All right, we'll have to skip him temporarily. Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Hello, hello.
There you go. Now you're on. You okay now?
Can't hear anybody.
We just voted. Did you want to vote also to approve the public safety building operational budget as requested? We just voted to approve it. Did you want to be in on the vote, Mr. Mish?
I can't hear anybody.
Well,
I think we can hear him, but he can't hear us.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. So that motion is approved. terms of Mr. Mish, I'm not sure what we should do. You have your phone? He can't hear us? Sheila, can you type in Terry, get on your phone? What, like
I don't think he's looking at it though.
Yeah, I think so.
Is he watching a basketball game or something?
I think so.
I thought sometimes they have captioning, but I don't see that as an option on here.
We haven't turned it on yet.
Oh.
There's a chat in here.
Aren't you glad we have such great internet in town?
Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can get him to click chat box.
All right, we'll take a little time out here to do a technical issue.
Bob, are you texting him?
I am.
Okay, thanks. I'm here. Oh, good, Siri, be quiet.
Is that Siri?
Siri telling me she's here. Maybe she can vote for Terry.
Right, probably could. Probably be listening to the whole thing. Right? Somebody could vote.
Do you have any more in this section? Yeah, we have library maintenance next.
We still got to do capital for public safety, right? Shall we try to move on while Terry finagles there? All right. Okay, so public safety buildings capital. I have the version with no numbers.
No.
So, but I do have the additional request. 7,800 TBD. I don't have that one. That's for slate roof consultation evaluation for slate roof and cupola repairs. Did that number show up, Laura?
5,000.
5,000. Nice round number. All right. And 4,000 for the fire department update water shutoffs on all toilets and faucets. So they have to do some replacement parts on the toilets at the fire department, I guess, and faucets. All right. So
Laura, what's the total they're requesting for capital?
24,500.
I move that we recommend the requested amount for capital.
And that's just for clarification, that was going from zero from last year. They had nothing, is that correct? In capital?
Yeah, nothing.
So they have, all right, so 24.5. All right, is there a motion? Did you just make that motion?
I did.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion on public safety buildings capital? No, all right, all those in favor? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish, are you here? Mr. Mish is not online. Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
All right, so it's unanimous.
Well, maybe an abstain for Terry if he can't vote.
I'm sorry. You're correct. One abstention. He's a pretty agreeable guy usually, but we'll abstain. All right, so here we are.
Hello.
Are you there?
Hi.
Hey, good to hear.
Can you hear us?
I guess.
Yeah. How many fingers do I have up?
Sure, I'll try it.
How many fingers am I?
That's what I had to do before. Okay.
You're on?
I think he was he talking with Doug?
Oh.
I gave him the old computer advice. Turn it off and turn it on again. He'll be back.
All right. The next budget I have is library building maintenance portion. Is that what you got?
That's what I have. And I have a note that they want to move $22,050 from town hall contracts to library.
So do they identify what line item that's coming into library as?
They're going to take it out of contracts? Did you?
I don't know. I wrote down move $22,050 from town hall contracts to library.
Oh, from town hall contracts. So it's not in the library budget per se.
They just want to increase the library contracts line by the $22.50.
Okay.
Plus $22.50.
So what's the library operations total, Laura?
Just give me a second.
Sure.
So, 169,181.
And that's up from 163,251.
Yeah.
Correct?
But that includes an extra 22,000 from town hall?
No, it's $2,250.
Oh.
Is what I have.
Okay, then I wrote it down.
It's not, and it's not from town. Well, it's
requested. I wrote bad notes.
Being requested by building maintenance to increase the line by $2,250.
Okay. I took poor notes. Thank you.
All right, so the bottom line is $169,181.
Yeah.
Operations total, library building maintenance portion. Somebody want to make a motion to approve that?
Moved.
Second?
Second it.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving $169,181 for the operations portion of the library building maintenance portion. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Not here.
Okay, Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay. One abstention. More or less.
Looks like they have a request for $2,250 for capital to remove the mold on the roof. The walls being power washed.
Power wash the walls, I think.
Yeah. Terry, can you hear us? You're muted.
So is that an operational line item, or that's not a capital line item, is it? Power washing?
No.
So that's in the wrong zone, I believe.
The biggest screen is for. Oh,
sometimes the capital items, sometimes if they're like a one-time thing, we will, you know, it's capital items / projects. So they'll put them down in the capital section.
As a project.
As a project, it's a one-time.
Can you hear me?
Show up next year.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear any of you. I need a drink.
Harry, you still don't hear us.
No, he doesn't hear us.
All right. All right, so this is under capital. This is library capital. You know, all these hacked up budgets get to be a little confusing after a while. Piece of it here, a piece of it there. So this is I'm asking a question. This is part of the library budget?
Yes, sorry.
Which we've already voted on. So I believe, is that correct? Sound right?
I think so.
So we're good?
Well,
no, I don't show.
Now I get to go back and look at library again.
This budget's the most confusing.
Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Is that an SOS?
I think he's trying to hear us on the phone.
But somebody better mute him or you're going to have a bad echo when he does connect. Thank you.
Right.
Well, we could vote on this and put the motion in the form of an addendum to the operating budget of the library. If in fact we have not included this already. Does that make any sense? It's not neat, but I think it might work. What do you think?
Well,
I think so too.
You said we already voted on this, right?
And if we didn't, we can figure that out with the select board when we meet, because this budget's hard to follow.
Very hard to follow. So let's table it, all right? And when we get together, Laura's going to have the Herculean task of sorting this stuff all out and getting it in an order that we can hopefully understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So on this particular power washing at the library capital item, do we have a motion to table?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor of tabling? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Terry's still offline?
Aye.
Terry, you there?
He's
I'm
back.
On the phone.
All right, Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay. Apologize for the confusion, but there are certain things here that are fairly unclear.
The next one is Park and Rec, and it's everything zero.
Oh, we've already covered the tree removal and the power washing.
Right. I'm wondering if we already covered it in their budget.
Yeah. I tried to, when we were doing the individual departments, is to incorporate that into the budgets when we were discussing.
We've addressed that previously, I believe.
So we can move on to the police. Yes?
Yes, please.
Let's go to the police.
Lock them up. Okay. Capital items. All right, in terms of operations, the draft that I have has an increase from 212,893 to 218,366. Is that what you've got?
Yes.
Yes.
For operations. All right, so are there any questions along the way in terms of, looks like they had many slight increases. As a matter of fact, didn't the lieutenant say that they just applied a standard % increase to a lot of the line items? Does anybody recall that? How's that for echo? That Doug Mullen guy was right again.
Yeah, they do, and I can't remember whether it was, I think it was a 2% increase. There was a, you know, a flat percentage they did across the all their lines.
Right. So does anybody have any issues they'd like to discuss on the operations for the police department?
I don't have any.
I'm not sure that I've seen a across the board % increase like that before presented in a budget. It almost makes sense in a way. It seems like the price of everything is creeping up, but as I said before, there seem to be modest increases in many line items. So I don't think anything is standing out as being, you know, unreasonable or objectionable.
I agree.
Is there any additional operation line items in the back here in the subsequent pages? Doesn't look like it. It looks like they've got some capital things and salary things. So it looks like the operations budget is pretty clean, pretty straightforward. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the requested amount?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, go ahead. Let Terry do it.
Terry seconded.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the police department operational budget as requested? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
All right. Capital.
The big one here is really, Art, as you know, whether or not we're going to do anything with regionalization of our dispatch, because we're probably going to have to double our expenditure ongoing in operations If we don't, and we're going to have to invest probably close to $2 million between police, fire, and emergency management in redoing our console and radios and all the rest of that.
So we probably need to table this.
Yeah, I don't have an update as to where we are with that. I can tell you that Westcom has made a proposal to us, and we have put in a letter of interest to Westcom saying, yeah, show us what you have. That probably we won't see the results of that for maybe 3, even 4 months. Well, actually, that was probably back in December when we talked to them, right, Art? So probably maybe another couple months now. We won't hear anything back on that. At least I haven't heard. And the other issue that's come up is we had contacted Westfield apparently some time ago, and that was not accepted by the state. But Westfield has come back to us. I don't know where that whole issue, prospect sits. So I'm not sure. But we have some significant issues relative to our the way we staff our dispatch presently versus our medical advice that we give over the phone. So that would create the necessity to go to a 2-person office as opposed to a 1-person office, which is why the cost would double for us predominantly.
Well, that remains unknown, that particular the dispatch situation.
I'm going to move that we table the police capital until we talk with the select board.
Second.
Any other conversation, discussion? All those in favor of tabling police capital? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay.
I probably should have just included dispatch with that. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to just table the whole dispatch budget?
Yep.
Make a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of tabling the dispatch budget until we meet with the Board of Selectmen? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
And Karen?
Aye.
Okay. What do we have left? Animal control?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you got?
Yep. They did the same thing. They just requested a 3% increase across the board.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with that method. I know we've just looked at another budget like that, but I'm not sure that I'm necessarily comfortable with that type of activity without a little bit of an explanation, a little more of an explanation. It seems like quite a broad, a general.
And especially if you look down below, they haven't overspent. They've been below, just like, we've noticed in other departments, it doesn't seem like it just, I don't know. I mean, if you look across the years.
Yeah, you're right.
It kind of seems like level funding's fine. Maybe even, I mean, we haven't done a decrease on anyone, but I mean, they're not spending it now. Things will get more expensive for sure, as everything does, but.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think
I think we can recommend level funding animal control. That's my motion.
That's a motion. Is there a second? A second.
Second.
I'm getting tired.
I was going to give you a third, but it doesn't count. Any other discussion?
I could use the fifth.
All those in favor of level funding the animal control budget? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Is that it for the book?
Yeah, the only other thing in my book is school. We're not.
In my book, behind the school tab is the chief administrative officer budget. And I'm not sure why it's there. Is that?
You're right. It's hiding back there.
It's hiding. And then there's also select board budget back in there. So we're gonna have to go through those paperwork.
Well, Chief Administrative Officer Operations is level, correct?
It's level. Yep. I recommend, I'm going to propose that we accept the requested by department amount for the Chief Administrative Officer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the requested budget for Chief Administrative Officer? Art, aye.
Bye.
Sorry.
Sheila, aye.
Carrie. Mr. Mish.
Aye.
Carrie. Carrie?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Karen?
Aye.
All right. The other looming issue is Chief Administrative Officer position is that he's asking people to start looking at possible added position, human resources position. And he provided some information, job descriptions and so forth for us to look at, something to be thinking about in the future in terms of dollar amounts for that position, and personnel board certainly will be looking at the personnel aspects of it. And it may be a prelude to a time when our Chief Administrative Officer actually thinks about retiring, which may not be too far in the future. I don't know. I have no idea when, but he's approaching that zone. So something for us to think about going forward. The select board budget, we all have that.
Yep, they requested level funding. I'm going to recommend that we go with the requested amount for the select board.
Is there a second? Not yet.
Everyone's sleeping.
Is there a second for the select board?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of select board operation budget level funded. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
What else is hiding in here? Moderator.
So I'm just looking ahead, and it looks like all the remaining requests from what I'm looking at are all requests to be level funded. Can we just lump them? Well, gas and oil is not. Yes, it is. I'm looking at all the coming ones, and they all look like everyone's requested level funding.
Except gas and oil, is that what you said?
I think it actually is, though. I'm looking at veterans now. I'm going ahead, and it just looks like casualty insurance went up. Principal went down.
All right, so you're looking, let me ask for a motion to approve level funding for moderator account, the reserve fund account, finance committee account, the legal, let's see.
Account.
Yeah, that's both operations and negotiator. That's both the same. Yes, it is. All right. Yeah. Okay. So legal.
Looks like legal might have requested a little more. They were 17,136, and now they're 17,478 is requested.
Well, we're voting to level fund, right? Is that where we're headed?
Well, that's what we were saying, but I think requested is the same as level funded. So if on legal we want to give them the extra $300 they're asking for, we could do requested.
Let's skip legal for a second. We're going to go with all the ones that are level.
Okay.
Requested level, all right? Okay, so then we got Board of Appeals and annual town report and constables, gas and oil, veterans, let's leave out channel 15. Let's just go with the ones I've listed. We have a motion to approve those level funded accounts.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the level funded accounts as mentioned. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
All right, so that's done. What did we skip? We skipped somebody who was different.
Legal?
Legal. Page 6, 17,136. All right, so legal negotiator operations are asking for a little bit of an increase from 17,136 to 17,478.
I'm sure it's costs more money to do legal stuff. I'm okay with going with the requested amount.
All right, so we have a motion to go with the requested amount for labor, for legal operations and labor negotiator operations. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Go ahead, Jared. Take Terry.
Okay, Terry seconds. Any other conversation, discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving legal as requested. Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so.
Channel 15, I think, is next.
Yep. Channel 15. They're looking for a $10,000 increase. Is that related to, I don't know what it's related to. They have a fund that they can purchase equipment out of. Is there any explanation? Did we get an explanation for that?
No, we didn't. And we haven't, we just renewed our cable advisory committee. I think we're going to still try to get the Comcast to pay for those equipment upgrades we did last year. Or we did the last time the committee was in force. We weren't successful, but I would like to try to get that, to get that again. And you're correct, they do have a fund. I'm not sure, Laura, would you have that information as to what the balance of the fund is right now?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh, are they trying to improve electronics in town hall?
Yes.
Is that what part of this request is for?
Part of this, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I recall somebody talking about that. And that's as a result of all of our Zoom opportunities we've had over the last year, that some of these things may become more permanent or available or functional at town hall. Some of these electronic options and opportunities. Does that sound anywhere close, Mr. Moglen? You're muted.
Sure. No, I mean, we've been talking about it, and I know they've been budgeting it, but I think we really have to go back over those numbers. I'll be honest, from a public participation standpoint, I mean, look at budget hearings, look at this meeting, look at regular boards of selectmen's meeting, board of health meetings through a pandemic. I think you could count the number of guests from outside on one hand. So we really have to weigh that investment over the course of a year on one hand. I think you have to weigh out that investment before we go in full bore do it. There may be other priorities there, but we'll have to talk about it. I mean, I can't wait to get back to town hall to have meetings in person again. I mean, certainly it's very convenient, right? You can just jump on it, any board meetings call right now, but we're still not seeing a lot of take up of it on Zoom, for example, especially by the public.
Yeah. Well, and there's a whole lot of us who don't have TV, that we don't pay for cable, so we don't have access to channel 15.
Well, you can get it, they've been broadcasting some of the meetings live on YouTube or whatever, or on the internet. You can get them right from the town's webpage, that may continue if we keep up the Zoom platform, but it's not inexpensive. The platform itself, plus then you got to have the cameras and the yada yada in the each meeting room.
I'm going to recommend we table this and discuss it with the select board.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of tabling channel 15? Art, aye. Bob?
Aye. Bob, aye.
Sheila?
Sheila, aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye. Mouth. Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Casualty insurance?
Totally outplays too.
I'm going to propose we go with what was requested by the department. Seems like a reasonable increase. Insurance doesn't get cheaper.
It's a defenseman for the Bruins to be fed.
There's a second? Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the casualty insurance budget as requested? Art, aye.
Bob, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Mr. Mish?
Larry, aye.
Aye. Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous. Principal account. I got a lot of TBDs on my version here.
Yeah.
Do we have a final number, Laura, for requested for principal?
Getting down there, sorry. Scrolling through the numbers. So,
yep.
So the principal, yes, it's $694,200 for the principal. And on the interest, we still have a few TBDs. We just, some are bans and the bonds have just closed this week. So I just need to confirm a few of the numbers on the interest part.
All right, so we need to table that for now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Sheila?
I'm going to propose that we go with requested by department for principal and table interest.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Art, aye.
Bob, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
All right, so we're going to move to employee benefits. Is that what we've got?
Yep.
And that's an accurate number there now, requested by department, 819043.
Yep, that's the same number.
Okay, we have a motion to approve employee benefits as requested.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, Art, aye. Bob?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Okay.
Almost done. I think this is the last one.
That's the end, right?
That's the end.
Okay, one other quick thing before we leave, unless you have some other stuff. That annual report that I did a draft of, and Carrie did a very nice job of proofreading it and going over it. Did everybody take a look at that? Does anybody remember it?
Yes. Because you and I spoke about it.
All right. Well, there was some confusion about that because we have two different documents. One was for the annual town report book, and the other one was for the book, the Finance Committee handbook, correct? At town meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So I think the one that we were working on most recently was for the Finance Committee handbook at town meeting, I believe. Does that make sense to everybody? A copy of which I cannot find at the moment.
Now, is this going to be proofread for punctuation and capitalization?
It was.
So there's a couple places for periods.
Carrie reviewed.
Small case. Infrastructure is one word.
Carrie redlined the whole thing and did a very good job, I thought.
Yeah, and I read, She did, but I found a couple things like there was an including that had a capital I. Is it going to be a small I? There was a period that was forgotten after town meeting in the beginning, you know, just small things like that.
Yeah, there was something else, a third or fourth paragraph in the thing that came out awful unclear. It was missing some punctuation. I don't recall exactly what it was. But
yeah, because overall the edits were good, but there's just a couple things that need to be looked at before it goes to print.
Can we send around a final version?
Karen, can you and Carrie work on that and send a final draft to Robin as soon as possible? Could you do that?
Could you also include Melissa and myself on that in case Robin is not in?
Now, the other thing is, do we need to vote on that thing to make it official? In which case we could do that if we still have time next week at the joint meeting. Is that still in time in terms of submitting that document for the handbook?
Yes.
It is. All right. So that's perfect. If Karen and Carrie could work on it, get a final draft, get all the kinks worked out, then we can have it for that joint meeting and vote on it then. How's that sound?
So moved.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Karen, I'll put it in a Word document and send it to you. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
So like I said, I think there was like 3 or 4 punctuation, capitalization things that would need to be, but otherwise.
I got schooled on that, but I appreciate it. That was good. That was good. Okay. Is there anything else we need to discuss?
Oh.
There probably is, but it escapes me. Hopefully Linda is back to 100% soon. And she'll be able to lead the charge at our next meeting. But thank you.
You did a great job.
Thanks for putting up with my whatever's here. It was kind of short notice, and it's getting kind of late, and it seems like things are slowing down a little.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you, Mr. Boglin.
Motion
to adjourn.
Oh, there you go. Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Art, aye.
Bye-bye.
Sheila?
Aye.
Mr. Mish?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Okay, we're done. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night. Take care.
Have a great night.
Take care.